of stuff in it, and then at the end when you mix, you start taking stuff out, moving stuff out because it's not necessary. So when we do our productions and when we try to get, you know, all our music out there, bear in mind that you have to take your time in doing what you're doing. Don't rush the process, especially if you set a timeline and say that you want to put the album out. You want to put the album out in January. I've been trying to put out my album now for 4 years. 4 years. And now I have to start from scratch basically because it's been 4 years. Mind you, the songs, everything is mixed already. It's just one of the songs, 2 songs that was holding up the project. And those 2 songs went into this year. Next year, my engineer was having ear problems. He got sick. This happened, that happened, and we just sat. But now when you go back and listen to the music, it's like, yeah, we gotta do this. But that was 4 years ago. So 4 years ago now, it's rubbish. In our sight as producers, we're not gonna be happy with that because 4 years ago we thought it was the bomb, but now it's a no. You ever go back and listen to some of the stuff that they do from years ago and you be like, I did that. Yep. Yeah, no, don't tell nobody I do that. So there's a process that goes into production. So let's get to the final stages, focusing on mixing and stuff. And there are various techniques. Filling in the arrangement with sound effects, transition effects, fills, and other air candy. Those things are important, you know, in your song. Editing samples in creative ways for audio, example, reversing audio, stretching audio, chopping, sampling, pitching, applying creative effects. All that is important in your production. Creatively, using audio effects like filtering, delay, reverbs, chorus saturation, all those things. And when you're applying automation and modulation to control instruments and sound effects, those are issues that have to be fixed when you're dealing with, you know, your stuff, doing audio clips. And one of the things I think you should try doing now when you're doing production is start making little videos while you're doing the production, with the process of doing it. It tells people of the hard work. People think that when we do music, that we just sit there and we just tap 2 things together and boom. So, and they want you to give it, well, you can give me this for free, or you can do it. They don't know the hard work it takes and the sleepless nights in creatively coming up with what we do and how we try to do the stuff that we are doing. We want the music to be the best of the best. We need to take back what the world has already gone with, and we need to show them how it really is to really be done. We need to really stop selling ourselves short as producers of the music, especially with the production. Please, if you don't have the money to do the production, save it. Save the money so you can get it things right. Sometimes people will work with you. Sometimes people will work with you as producers and help you get to where you got to go. But if you make shortcuts, your product, chances are your product is not going to get anywhere. There are some songs that have made it through, but that's a small fraction. Let me give you an example. Moving to the Left. Remember that song? Moving to the Left, my first hit song. You know that the version that they was playing in the radio was never mixed? That was a demo. Because we couldn't find an engineer to mix the song, and we didn't know what we was doing. So I just pushed up the kick and the snare. If you go back and listen to that track, you would hear no effects. There's no effects on the vocals. There's no effects on the drums. There's no effects on anything. And I said this as a demo, and because time is running short, but when you're green and you don't know. But because I had a friend that decided that no matter what, he was going to push the song, and it stuck in people's ear, it ended up going through. It's about 12 years ago, I actually really mixed the song after the fact. Get all the effects and all that stuff. But before, there are some songs that just are so good that sometimes they make it. Also, another thing when you're writing songs, if your hook and your verse is good. You don't need 3 verses. You can look that over. I learned that from Eddie Grant. Neighbor, neighbor, do I think I love you? Remember that song from Eddie Grant? Listen to that song and tell me when you find the verse, let me know. He sang that hook over and over and over. And then he repeat that with hello, hello, Africa. How you doing, Africa? Tell me how you over and over. And you not realizing that you're singing the same thing over and over, and that was the song. That makes hits. People nowadays, young people nowadays, do not listen to about 3 verses. Put that out of your system. Tell the story in 2 verses or less. Tell your story as soon as you can, because the attention span of the young people nowadays, 15-20 seconds max.
Somebody now made a point there. There's a hymnal. I'm now studying hymnals before, like all these verses.
Listen, 4 and 5 verses in a hymn.
Yeah. No.
Don't be, I don't know where did these people might be trying to just hymn and hymns. No, that's true. I've never seen a hymn with 2 verses. Have anybody seen a hymn with 2 verses? No. Have you ever seen a hymn with 2 verses?
4 and up. Start there.
But you know, when you do your production, just remember that it is important that your production is, and have listening parties when in the 50s. They use the same wood skin, we use the same wood skin and stuff and make that production stuff. And I was like, wow. Music never gets old. They say that's an old song, but music never really gets old. Music is music. And if it's done well.
But I use Brent.
That's different.
That is a different level. You understand? So you know, based by the location you go in, you can trust certain musicians. I'm not gonna go to a country where I've never heard a band and use a band. I'm gonna use tracks. I'm gonna take God, Son of Christ track. I ain't going and, you know what I mean? Because you show up, you guys don't even know how to play with stems. Ask them what stems is, they don't even know what stems is. You understand what I'm saying? And doing a show without stems right now is like, if we live in Stone Age, like this is long time business. We don't do shows like that. And the reason why, just to say, is because years ago, we didn't have YouTube. So people didn't really know how songs sound.
Yeah.
So you could do 3 musicians, keyboard, bass, drums, and you could. It's fine. Now, they know your song. And if your song have, they're expecting to hear, else they're going to say, something wrong. So what's wrong? Something missing. This is what the stems are for. The stems are to keep your song singing, because if you have 3 musicians, they're not lizards and they're not spiders. They can't play all this stuff. So the missing stuff are in the stems, right? That's what the stems are for. And then when it come together, bam, we have that big song, all right?